Welcome back to Turtle Talk Podcast. It is your host, Old Sun. We have a great episode today, but first, our co-host is John from Sideline Sports Network. Let's go, folks. So we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about what's actually going on the field for Maryland Spring Sports.
Yeah, we'll start with a little bit of football news. Elijah Brooks, former DeMatha head coach and running back coach for the Terps, decided to take a, I won't say parallel move, but a move to the same position at Virginia Tech. And while most people will think it's a parallel move, I think it's more, they paid him more, first of all.
Yeah,
And the room for advancement at Virginia Tech is far better than it is, at Maryland when we're bringing in, legit guys. I mean, not saying
we have
Gaddis
and Gaddis is our offensive coordinator now.
And Sumlin, yeah. So we're bringing in proven guys rather than giving a chance to a guy who's never called plays in his college career.
Yeah, so it's probably a good move for him, but it's an opportunity for us too. We can go out and hire someone good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're gonna keep this local. I said it before. We're gonna keep this new sign local. I don't know what local coach it's gonna be, but we only really have Locks and kind of Gaddis. Gaddis is an elite recruiter, but he's not specifically based in Maryland. So I think we have to have a Maryland-based guy because we really don't have those.
We need a local guy to recruit the local prospects. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, outside of the support staff, actual football position coaches aren't coming from this area.
You're right. Good call. So, is there any other football news?
No, not really. Spring practice starts at the end of the.
Oh, I have a good offer went out. His name's Kobe Sarkodie. He's a 2026 defensive back from Milford Mill.
Okay, nice.
He's a young. He also got a Penn State offer this week, so he's a pretty legit player. He started for the state championship, Milford Mill Millers as a freshman.
Nice. I mean the offers are flowing, the visits are flowing. We could do an hour segment on the guys that are coming in and out of campus. It's almost too hard to keep up with, and I don't know.
Yeah, the visits is what so many visits. We're having everyone. A notable visit: City College Knights and Jamari Powell-Watson were on campus yesterday.
Yeah.
I have one more football note. Carlton Juju Preston, one of the top wide receivers in the 2024 class, is transferring from Freedom Woodbridge High School to St. Francis. So hopefully that helps our chances with him.
I don't know if it helps. I don't think it hurts. Torrey Smith actually I think he got the job at St. Francis as a receiver coach.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's phenomenal.
So that could be part of the reason why a guy from Northern Virginia instantly, got that offer. Another one that went out, Nathan Owusu, DeMatha linebacker.
Yeah, he's a real good talent,
So that hurts us, no doubt about it. I don't think we're getting Ernest Wylor.
Yeah.
So the IMG football program isn't gonna help us out much.
Yeah. That's. I guess that's all I have for football recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about, but it's mainly just visits, no real news.
There are a lot of news will be coming up in the next couple months.
Oh, you know what? I will say, I think it's not a coincidence that Michael Van Buren has showed up on campus twice the last week.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I'm not saying I know anything. I just don't think it's a coincidence. I think the interest in the home team is real. I think we have a good shot. Quarterbacks commit usually early, so
yeah. Hopefully he could recruit for us. He'd be a big recruiter for us if he commits early in the cycle.
A guy you talked about, Milford Mill, a guy like Deshaun Purdy could be a guy that commits to us too. I like him. He's got
you're a big Purdy fan, I know.
A big arm. I love Deshaun Purdy.
I think he's definitely a take for us, but I'm not sold on him as an elite national college quarterback yet, but I definitely think he has the tools to be a take.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got other offers out, so I don't think this is a fluke. I think that this time around it might be different. I
Yeah,
could be
know
wrong.
that-
I mean, I didn't. This time last year, I wasn't as hyper focused on all the visits and offers and interests. I
Well-
just feel like we have more of a better relationship set with top players. in
No,
our
there's
own
more,
area.
more news coming out. There's more higher volume of visits, higher volume of offers, and it's only a good thing for us. You're not imagining it. It's definitely this cycle there's been more offers and more visits.
Right. In other news, baseball got a sweep over the weekend against Maine, home sweep. They beat the brakes off Maine on Friday night, 25-10.
Yeah, that was
Win
nice.
Friday night. They go to Delaware tomorrow or today. If you're reading this, it'll be on Flow Baseball against Delaware, and then we got a home series this upcoming weekend against Albany, and a home game next Tuesday against George Washington. So
Should be
trying to, they had a tough little stretch start of the season. Now, like we said last week when we talked to Ian, try to get a run going here, and I think we have a really good chance. This team can really put some runs on the board, and they got ample opportunity to make some noise upcoming here.
throw up some crooked numbers, as my coach says, for
Right.
big scores.
Right. Lacrosse over the weekend got a win against Albany on the road.
That was nice.
Yeah, and then we got a game against Virginia. I'm not sure where they're ranked right now.
It's
if they're
at
ranked,
Charlottesville, I remember.
but yeah, so that'll be on ACC Network. You can catch that Saturday at 2 p.m. And other news, women's basketball, they got the 2 seed in the South Carolina region, and just like the Maryland men's, who get screwed by playing Alabama in round 2, the women's tournament seed, their side, has to go through South Carolina.
Yeah, all roads lead to the Gamecocks, but hopefully we have a puncher's chance, and hopefully we'll play our best basketball against them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at other sports. Women's lacrosse had a couple of wins over the weekend, and so did softball. They had a sweep, another tourney sweep. They're really,
Go Lady Terps.
yeah, they're really picking up some steam here early in the season. Hopefully that can continue throughout Big Ten play.
For sure. Is that it? That's it for is wrestling season over, correct?
Wrestling season is not over. I think this weekend is nationals. I think I mentioned who we have. I think we had 5 total qualifiers in the NCAA's. So
Yeah. That's solid. That's pretty solid, I feel like.
right.
All right, cool. Will that wrap things up for the Olympic sport breakdown?
Yeah, that'll be the on-campus stuff. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament. Maryland.
Yeah, we be right back with an NCAA tournament extravaganza. Welcome back to Turtle Talk Podcast, and it's time, folks. It's one of my favorite parts of the year. I'm sure John's as well, and hopefully yours too. It's the we're breaking down the bracket, folks. Let's get to it.
All right. So first, got to start with the South region. The number 1 seed Alabama Crimson Tide will host.
Yeah.
Kind of host their first 2 games, and they will face the winner of SEMO and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, which is on right now, and
Wait, SEMO, you
What?
said? Who's that?
Southeast Missouri State, who has former Terp Aquan Smart, one of the
Oh yeah, that's right. The guy from
Questionable.
Chicago.
questionable Turge recruits that came
So
through.
both of the guards, Dockery and Aquan Smart, made the tournament this year.
I like Docker. I think he could have been a nice little 3-point. I don't, but
Yeah.
we're past that part. We are on to our new guy, Kevin Willard, and anyway, Alabama's going to win that game. Let's talk about our game. It kind of
Yeah.
sets up pretty nicely that I get to talk about us before talking about anybody else. Maryland, the 8 seed, face West Virginia, the 9 seed. First game of the tournament, technically not, but first game of the actual field of 64, 12:15 on a Thursday. Just take a late lunch, and just
Yeah.
watch the game, support the Terps, man. Uh, I think I like the Terps in this. What I like about them is
Mellow
West
Trimble
Virginia.
revenge game.
Yeah, right. West Virginia plays a very fast and loose style of basketball. Uh, very athletic, but they don't run an offense really like at all. They kind of
Yeah.
just give the ball to Eric Stevenson. They're that's their guy, and they kind of just let him do whatever he wants. And I think with a little bit of a game plan against a structured defense, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I like the Terps in this. I think if Julian Reese can stay out of foul trouble, Maryland can win. But it doesn't matter. Either way, whoever wins, I have losing to Alabama because Alabama is just too athletic,
So
too long.
Alabama's so good.
Nobody on either team will be able to guard Brandon Miller. We could put Akeem Hart on him. He's not athletic enough. They could put Trey Mitchell on him. He's not athletic enough. Nobody's athletic enough to guard Brandon Miller.
I know it's a shame, but it is what it is. But hopefully we'll play our best basketball. And you never can. And like I said on a past episode, we do have a coach who can out strategize people in March now. He's one of the great strategists in college basketball. So that's we have that in our hole now. But I wanted to say too about the West Virginia. The name Press Virginia isn't just a joke, folks. It's they run. It does describe how they play. They press. They literally and figuratively press, and they play tenacious basketball.
They foul.
Yeah, they're aggressive.
Too. Very aggressive.
Not my favorite style of ball, but it works for them. Good for them.
Right. Other games across this part of the bracket, I like San Diego State. I think Charleston's a not fraud, but I don't think they're as good as everyone makes. I don't think they're as good as everyone makes out to be. They're really good. They shoot the three, live by three, die by three, kind of like Alabama. But San Diego State is athletic enough to beat them, and they're pretty good 3-point defensive team. So Charleston isn't going to get much, and they're excellent in the paint. So Charleston's not going to, I don't think, have a chance. I don't think they have an offense prolific enough to deal with San Diego State. And honestly, San Diego State got a bad draw because I think they're better than Virginia. And I honestly, I might be picking the 13 over the 4 here. Furman they are a really good offense. They run a kind of like a Princeton style offense, a lot of cutting and backdoor cuts, and they find those guys. And Virginia, obviously, Tony Bennett, a prolific defensive coach. But Vanderplas is a big loss for them, and I think Furman can really put it up. Honestly, Virginia's probably going to win this. I hate being so chalk about it.
We can't say Virginia's too good to lose to an unheralded opponent in the first round, though, too.
Yeah. But then again, they won the national championship. They
did get redemption. Let's give them credit for that. But they'll always have that UMBC blemish on their resume.
Right. Other games, Creighton, NC State. NC State kind of hasn't been playing great lately, and I really like Creighton's pieces. Kalkbrenner, Defensive Player of the Year. DJ Burns is not going to get anything done. Traquavian Smith is really good for NC State, but I really like what Creighton does. Defense or offensively, they're just they're one of those teams where you have a certain Ken Palm efficiency rating that you have to get in, and 100% of the people that have gone to the finals and won are in that. Creighton is one of them, and I think it's like top 20 or top 30 Ken Palm offense and top 45 Ken Palm defense, and they're there. I mean, they got that. Trey Alexander can really put up some shots, shoots 44%. Baylor Shireman can put up some shots. Ryan Nemhard can put up some shots. I think they got it. I think they got it all. And they don't play a big bench. Big benches don't work in March Madness.
Yeah,
so
correct.
You're gonna play your guys 30 to 35 minutes a game, and that they have a lineup that's done it all season. I don't think 2 games in 2 days is going to deter them, especially after the Big East tournament.
Correct. Good call. What are we on to now? Baylor or
But yeah, Baylor. I think Baylor wins this game pretty easily. I know UC Santa Barbara has AJ Mitchell. I think was a Cal transferred down to win, and he did. He won. I just don't think they're good enough. I think they're one of the worst teams that won on them. I don't know. I didn't like them as a 14 seed. I don't think they're 14 seed good.
Yeah, I agree.
Baylor, they've been disappointing defensive. I love Baylor. I thought they were going to be really good this year, and obviously Jonathan Chacho missing a big chunk of the season hurt them, but I still think they can get it. Keontae George is an NBA player. Chama Chacho is back, and if he can find a rhythm, Flo Thamba was on that team too. LJ Cryer and Flagler, I think, were both on that national championship team 2 years ago, so they have the experience. I like them. I like them in this scenario. The 7-10, Missouri and Utah State. I like Utah State here. You mentioned UMBC, Ryan Odom. He's got that on his resume, but they're just really good. They've beaten some really good teams. Oral Roberts is a team that I might pick to beat Duke, and they beat them. They out-offense them, and not many teams can out-offense Oral Roberts. I don't think any other team out-offense Oral Roberts. They did get blown out by Boise State, Nevada. They did lose to San Diego State 3 times throughout the season. They're bigger. I think they're better. They shoot the three at an incredible clip. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams, and against a smaller Missouri, who might be more athletic, I go back and forth on that. Missouri hasn't really been great. Their last couple games, they lost to Alabama, beat a bruised Tennessee team that I don't think will make any mark in this tournament. A huge loss to Auburn last month. I don't see it with Missouri. I don't see it with many SEC teams, especially SEC teams. They don't shoot the ball well. I mean, Missouri's probably as good as it gets at shooting the three in the SEC. I don't see it.
Correct. I agree.
The 2-10 Arizona. I don't see any issue with Arizona here. I'm not enamored with Princeton.
Yeah.
Simply put, their best team they played was Iona and Yale, who were both top 75 Ken Bomb. And they lost all those except the championship game. But
correct.
I'm out on them. And that's it for the South. What region are we going to next?
The Purdue's region, East.
That scares me. I hate that region, dude. I think the way that they did the regions this year were terrible. There's the West is like a gauntlet. Like nobody's getting out of that at all. And there's some of the best teams on that side of the bracket. I hate Purdue. Purdue is not good. They have Edey. Obviously, Edey's a monster. Floyer's playing like shit. Braden Smith is undersized. He's all right. He's good. Mason Gillis, not great. Brandon Newman, not great. Caleb First, not great. Ethan Morton is terrible. Ethan Morton is not a good basketball player. Nobody can convince me that he is.
I'm not going to argue with you there.
And then but I don't know because they play Memphis and FAU. So Memphis is a team that they just beat Houston without Marcus Sasser, but their big losses of the season in the last couple months are against Houston and SMU, and they did lose to Tulane. Did use the UCF, Tulane, Alabama. They played Alabama to 3 points earlier in the season. They beat VCU, who's in this tournament. They beat Auburn, who's in this tournament. They beat Texas A&M, who's in this tournament. They played They played Vanderbilt too. So they played 4 SEC teams and they went 3-1 against them. They went 3-1 against the SEC early in the season, November, whatever. That's important. Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams are the 2 best players on the court wherever they play. Against FAU, they're the 2 best. Against Purdue, they're 2 and 3. But they're the 2 best guards on the floor, and that is very important when it comes to to March Madness. And they don't have anyone to guard Edey, but Kendrick Davis is going to run circles around the guards of Purdue. So I like Memphis to beat FAU. I like Memphis to beat Purdue, probably. I'm not 100% sure on that because I won't finalize it till tomorrow night. But just the way that I'm thinking now, I think Memphis gets to the Sweet 16 in that quadrant.
Yes.
And then the next quadrant with Duke or Roberts, and then Tennessee. God, are we really gonna give Duke the easiest path? Not really. I shouldn't say easiest. Are we really gonna give Duke an open path to the Elite Eight, Final Four like that? Really, Tennessee sucks. Not sucks. Without Zakai Ziegler, they are not good. They're not. Jordan Brown's wrong team. Santiago Vescovi is good. He's a good defender. Josiah Jordan James is a good defender, but they don't really shoot the ball well. I think they might be ranked worse than us in 3-point. We're not good. Good. So that game, I think Tennessee wins that just because I don't see Louisiana as a viable opponent there. They lost to Texas by 30, lost to Drake by 12. I don't really see it. Jordan Brown's really good though, and maybe if he could catch fire. They shoot the three. Greg Williams shoot the three good. Kentrell Garnett shoots the three good. You know what? Screw it. Louisiana to beat Tennessee. I can
see it.
I don't see it with Tennessee without. They did beat Mississippi without Zakai Ziegler, but Mississippi ain't good. They lost to Missouri, and I'm already not high on Missouri. So that Duke or Roberts game, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna make a pick right now because I don't know. I don't. Duke is so hot right now, and obviously you got to be wary. ACC is terrible. Yeah. They're bad. But they beat Virginia, Miami, North Carolina, NC State, all in this little stretch since they lost to Miami and Virginia back to back. They're hot. Their freshmen are getting hot at the right time. Dariq Whitehead, Derek Lively was terrible to start the season, and now he's starting to pick it up. Kyle Filipkowski is a great, not big. I wouldn't call him a big, but a great forward. Jeremy Roach with that veteran experience at Proctor is a great defender. Mark Mitchell's a stud.
Yeah,
I don't know where to pick.
Good.
I don't know where to pick. I want to go Oral Roberts because this is better than that 15 seed team that beat Ohio State. Way better. They have McBride, Juergens, Thompson, A. Smith, obviously from that team. They even have Connor Vanover, who, if they caught Purdue, I wouldn't call him a viable, but he could give Purdue and Edey some fits. Deshaun Weaver is a big man that can shoot the ball. Patrick Mamba is a big man that can shoot the ball. They can shoot the ball so well. They're ranked 8th in the 2-point and 35th in 3-point in the country. And they turn the ball over the least, and they haven't really. They played the teams they played St. Mary's they lost by 8. They played Houston and they got blown out. Obviously, I told you they got out offense by Utah State, and since those 3 games, they've lost 1 game, and that was against New Mexico, and now they're on a 20-something game win, a 15-game win streak since then. I think I'm taking Oral Roberts.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think. And to go through
Duke's just so hot though. I can't pick against Duke, but I like Oral Roberts.
If I do that, well, I guess we'll talk about the bottom side of the bracket. I think I didn't say on the other side, but I think coming out of the Sweet 16, I'd have Oral Roberts. Memphis, Oral Roberts. I think Asmus and Kendrick Davis would be an absolute show.
Correct.
On the other side, I forgot I have Alabama coming out. That I didn't feel like it was necessary to say, but I have Alabama.
Yeah,
coming out.
Alabama's the team to beat this year.
Yeah. Anyway, the next matchup, Kentucky Providence, the Bryce Hopkins revenge game. He transferred in from Kentucky to Providence.
Yeah.
They're hardly got in. Kentucky's gonna win, beaten, bruised, whatever. Kentucky's gonna get in.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a Kentucky fan, and he's pretty happy about the way things are setting up for them.
I think they have a good setup to get to the Sweet 16, but after that, I don't know.
Kansas
State,
that's all you can say is for a team, they're not the best Kentucky team they've ever been this year.
Yeah, I mean, Sheboy is, I won't say been a disappointment, but I think he's been a little bit worse. Antonio Reeves has been hurt a little bit. CJ Frederick has been hurt. Severe Wheeler and Queso Wallace, they've all been hurt. So they're a banged up team. Also, targeted Adu Thero, but getting some minutes. Well, he hasn't been because he's been hurt, but
Yeah.
I remember being on his train.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, next matchup, Kansas State versus Montana
Bobcats.
State. Montana State. Keontae Johnson and Marquise Noel is probably two of the best combinations of players, and they have the pieces, but they really haven't been playing too great. They beat a Baylor team that has been kind of scuffling. Iowa State's been scuffling hard. They barely beat them. Then they lost back-to-back. West Virginia and TCU. They got blown out by TCU. They lost to Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Texas,
Yeah.
Kansas, Iowa State in the last month and a half. I'm out. I'll take them to win this game against Montana State, who I don't see as formidable. There are only 2 games against the Pac-12 schools, Arizona, Oregon. They weren't even close.
Correct.
They're not ranked highly. They're decent defensively, offensively. They might be the worst team.
Standard 14 seed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think they're a good 14 seed.
I like the institution, but I can't bet on them.
Yeah. I'll take Kansas State in that.
Yeah.
Michigan State, USC. Don't ask me.
All right.
I don't know.
I'll be a homer and pick USC.
I like Andy Enfield. I'd probably take USC. I don't know what the points is, but he's like 10-2 in his last, or like 8-2 or 10-2 in his last 12. On the spread, I can see what the spread is in that. Hold up. It is Michigan State -2, so that doesn't really help. USC is great defensively in the paint, but a lot of Michigan's game is outside on the 3. They shoot the 3 so well. Tyson Walker, Joey Hauser, Jaden Akins. They don't really play inside. Hauser's an outside. Obviously, Kohler and Madi Sissoko are kind of the inside guys, but that's not their game. They average 8 points together as a unit in that 5 position. They don't use that position. So I think I'll take Michigan State just because they're just that good shooting the 3. And I tend to believe that teams that are really good offensively and can shoot the ball will find their stroke during March, and that's like why teams like Utah State or Roberts I've gotten picked. Out of the 215, this is my pick to make it out of the Elite Eight, and I think I have them in the Final Four. I think I have them beating Oral Roberts, Marquette, Golden Eagles. They lost. They kept the Purdue game really close. That was in Purdue. They beat Baylor up, beat them up early in the season. They only lost to Wisconsin by 3. You can say that's a bad loss, but that's a KenPom team. And since then, they beat Creighton. They've beaten Connecticut. They've beaten Xavier. They beat Creighton again. They beat Connecticut. They beat Xavier for the championship, and they beat them up pretty good. Big East, I might have 3 teams in the Big East in the Final Four.
Yeah,
I think the Big East is legit. Between Connecticut, Xavier, Creighton, and Marquette, I think the Big East is legit between those 4.
I don't disagree.
Tyler Kolek is one of the best guards in the country. Omax Prosper is so good. Oso Ighodaro is good. Cam Jones can shoot. Like, they don't really their starting lineup really doesn't have that much of there's not really a bad player in that lineup. I really like
Correct.
that team. I really like that team, and I obviously like them against Vermont if I have them going to the
I
Final
like
Four.
Marquette for sure too.
Vermont is one of the hottest teams. They play in a horrible conference. America East is a horrible
That's true.
conference.
Yeah.
And they lost games to New Hampshire and UMass Lowell in the middle of that. But since those two losses, they haven't lost, and they haven't played anybody great. But
They're
God,
too shaky for me to pick.
yeah, like I said, I have Marquette going to the Final Four in that as of right now.
All right, well, let's flip to the other side then.
That would be the
And we're back, folks. We're breaking down the Midwest, starting with Houston and Northern Kentucky.
Houston. Now, this is going to be a little early of a prediction. I will assume Marcus Sasser is healthy. I will assume Norchad Omier is healthy for Miami. I'm gonna say that right away. If they aren't healthy, fuck me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Then. I probably won't pick either of them. But Houston will have Marcus Sasser. I think he's already probable. It's an injury where he could, be fine, but re-injure it. They have 3 losses, a bad one to Temple. That was kind of everyone slips up. A loss to Alabama. They did. I don't think they had. They'd have Sasser, but then they lost to Memphis in the AAC final where they didn't have Sasser to that groin injury he suffered the game before. They are the best team. I think they're just their athleticism just overpowers. There's not a guy that I look at on their stat sheet that gets minutes. They get a lot of guys get minutes. That'll stop. But everybody here they're athletic. Sasser's an athletic guard. Jarris Walker's an athletic big. Jawan Roberts athletic. Sheed, Shamon Mark, they're all athletic. They can beat you with that athleticism, and they can kind of shoot. I mean, they're better in the mid-range game, and they do a lot of spot up with Jarris Walker, a ton of spot up with Marcus Sasser, but obviously Sasser takes the majority of the shot. He takes 233s this year. That's a lot of threes.
That's volume.
He's 38%.
That's some volume right there.
That is a ton of volume. He's in the 97th percentile on spot up, and he's in the 89th percentile on pick and roll ball handler. So
That's
without
crazy.
Marcus Sasser, it's over with. They're done. So I'm going to assume Marcus Sasser's here. If it's tomorrow and it says that he's not, or sometime during it, take all that I'm saying and throw it out the window because they're screwed.
Yeah, correct. All right, Iowa
and
Auburn.
It does not help that they're in one of the tougher, I think probably the second toughest bracket.
Yeah.
And not to discount Northern Kentucky, but they aren't good.
Yeah, it's just reality.
Move on. Iowa, Auburn. What a terrible game, dude. I wish we would have switched. I want to face Auburn, and I want Iowa to face West Virginia.
But yeah, I know that's a good way to put it.
Auburn sucks. They have lost a ton.
Iowa
Since their win against South Carolina on the road, they have lost to Texas A&M, West Virginia, sorry. They beat Georgia, then they lost at Tennessee, Texas A&M, Alabama, beat Missouri pretty badly, lost to Vanderbilt. They beat Mississippi, lost to Kentucky, lost to Alabama, beat Tennessee, bruised up Noah Kiesinger, Tennessee, and then they lost to Arkansas, who hasn't been doing good. So, they're not good. I don't think they're good. They're not good away. They're almost worse than us on the road. That's not true. We're terrible on the road. Janai Broom and Wendell Green, I will say they're 2 very good players. And like I said before, SEC teams, they don't shoot the 3. This team, out of 356 schools, is 314th in 3-point percentage. Horrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
They don't defend they do defend the 3 really well though. So, the athleticism that they have definitely helps them. But Iowa runs; they're going to run so much all over them. Chris Murray is awesome. Rebraka's awesome.
Yeah,
They don't. They're
I
actually
kind of
their
like
numbers.
Iowa, actually.
I
I
mean,
hate to
I'm
say
looking
it.
at their numbers, and their 3-point numbers are not very good. Like, they're kind of pedestrian compared to what I thought they were. This is their 3-point percentage by their top. They're all their rotation players, all the way down to Aaron Eulis. 33, 33, 33, 34, 34, 33, 33. Everyone shoots 33% from 3-point range on this team. How is that possible? I don't know. Now, Rebraka only has 6 attempts, but we'll still keep that 33% from everybody that plays, and it plays through Chris Murray and Philip Rebraka. So I like Iowa to win that game. No Sasser. I like Iowa to win the next game. Sasser. I like Sasser or Houston to win that game. On to the 5-12. I see this as a big upset pick all around. I will say Norchad Omier, if he plays, they win this game. Norchad Omier that's a big part, but you cannot deny Nigel Pack, Isaiah Wong, and Jordan Miller. You can't deny that they're awesome. And even Wooga Poplar, he shoots the ball crazy good. That's a team that can heat up. Guards that heat up, and even if they play a smaller lineup, they will have a tough time guarding Tucker DeVries from Drake, but
Yeah.
outside of that, they aren't really that great.
Yeah.
Coach's kid, Tucker DeVries, is he's their offense. I don't.
Yeah.
People like this upset pick. I don't.
I like Miami.
I like Miami. On the 4-13. Now this is
I
one
like
that
Indiana
I'm
with this
starting
one.
I'm starting to come around on Kent State being this upset here.
Really?
A little bit, not much, because you can't deny TJD, you can't deny Jalen Hood-Schifino. Those are two of the best players that are going to be on the court at the same time in March.
That's fair.
They need Miller Kopp, they need Race Thompson, Trey Galloway, Tamar Bates, Malik Renaud. They need them to step up, because right now, I mean, Miller Kopp is pretty decent. He shoots really well. He shoots the most and the best. Trey Galloway's all right. Race isn't great. Tamar hasn't been great as of late. And obviously the loss of X. If they had X, I think I'd pick them to go maybe past. I think I'd take them to go past Houston. But I won't. But I think I am going to take him over Kent State. Now, Kent State really defends so well. Malik Jacobs is he's a ball hawk. He can steal the ball anywhere. They don't shoot the three well. Jalen Sullinger does. And I guess you could say Miran Thomas does. 35% on 190 attempts. Sincere Carey's a chucker. He shoots it 31% on 200 attempts. So they do shoot a lot of threes, but I don't know. I think the fact that their best player is more of the outside big, I think CJD is just going to be too much. And Malik Jacobs is good. He might be able to contain JHS, but there's other players that he has to contain, and I don't think you're going to be able to. I'm going to pick Indiana for that one.
Okay.
And then then in that little region, I'll take Houston to take it in the Elite Eight, but I don't feel very confident. I don't really like this little quadrant. Miami, Indiana, that's going to be a tough round 2 matchup. If Indiana wins, they couldn't get Houston. But then again, it's the Big Ten we're talking about, so I'm going to defer as the Big Ten sucks because we do.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Iowa State. We're on to Iowa State now, right?
Yeah, Iowa State versus the playing game of Mississippi State Pitt. God, I don't care who wins this game. I don't care who wins the playing game. I don't care who wins.
They're not making it to the Sweet 16.
Hell no. Xavier's going to beat whoever. Now, I mean, Iowa State and Mississippi State have really good defenses, and that could contain Xavier just a little bit, but God, their offense, those two offenses are some of the worst in the Power Six. Mississippi State has the sixth best defense, but the 165th best offense, and Iowa State has the eighth best defense, but the 97th ranked offense. That just doesn't get it done. They have nobody. Caleb Grill's gone, so I think that you even could wipe that, and they might even have a worse offense. Now they have had a decent, they haven't been playing great. If you look at their last 15, they're 4-12, not good. I don't know how they got on the sixth line. I mean, I guess I do. They've beaten some good teams: Texas, Baylor, Kansas. They beat up on Kansas, but come on, this team sucks. This team is bad. You can spin it as the Big 12 is a great conference. Then it might be the best conference. It might just be that good.
Yeah.
They suck. Iowa State sucks. Mississippi State sucks. And I don't think Pitt's any better. Pitt, they have a good offense, terrible defense. I don't like any of those teams. I'll say Iowa State gets out of that little area, but whoever gets out of that is losing to 3 seed Xavier. Who might I add? I have a crush on. I love Xavier. Xavier is one of my favorite teams coming into the tournament. Sule Boom and Colby Jones, two of the best guards. They can shoot. Unfortunately, Zach Freemantle's gone. That kind of hurts me because I think if they had Freemantle, I'd pick them in the Final Four. I might pick them to win the championship, and that was part of my 3 to 4 Big East teams that I think could get in there. Jack Nungy shoots the 3 ball, and he shoots it well. Sule Boom shoots the 3 ball, and he shoots it well. They're one of the best three, they're the third best shooting offense in the country. Third in 3-point percentage.
All right, Texas.
They don't have a bench.
Sorry.
They don't have a bench, but yeah, I like them. Sorry, Texas A&M and Penn State. Booty ball.
I like A&M.
I don't know.
I think A&M's got to play better than they did on Sunday, but I like A&M.
They don't shoot the 3 well. They don't defend the 3 well.
Penn State could get hot and put them away. It could be a blowout.
That inside-out offense, that shitty inside-out offense that Penn State runs and Jalen Pickett runs, it's going to get it done in this round. And I'm going to be honest, he might get it done in the next round. I don't know. I think Texas might be a little bit better disciplined than that, but I think I'm taking Penn. They're hot too, and you can't deny they've won 8 of their last 9 or something like that. They did have a little skid where you thought, this Penn State team isn't good. I don't think they're good. I personally.
They're not great, but they can shoot the ball well when they get hot.
Live by a 3, die by a 3. I tend to believe that the teams that do that win in March, and unfortunately, I have to pick Penn State here.
Yeah,
but it won't go far.
Fair
Don't
enough.
worry, people.
Fair enough.
They won't go far.
You think Texas is gonna, or do you think Colgate's a sleeper?
Colgate's a sleeper. I hate that they got Texas. Texas is so good. Undisciplined a little bit. I mean, their turnover rate isn't that bad. They force turnovers. They don't shoot the 3 ball well, but they don't need to. Marcus Cart does enough shooting for them. Serge Jabari Rice is elite. If you've never seen Serge Jabari Rice, just look him up. He has the most elite pump fake I've ever. It gets him every single time. It's a perfect pump fake. I've never seen a pump fake that good, but it's perfect. Timmy Allen's been a little banged up, but he's back, and he's a mid-range jump. He kind of reminds me of like Aaron Wiggins from the mid-range. Likes to post up and spot up, and yeah, Tyrese Hunter. He was a stud for Virginia a couple years back, and now he's here. He's doing good. Dylan Disu's good. They don't really have a big man outside of Disu. Really, Disu isn't, but that's kind of the athleticism. Those teams, they don't have it, and Penn State doesn't either, so it's not a big issue, really. If Penn State had a big man, Zeke, not Najee, if he can post up, but he's really not that great. He's a young, big. They're gonna X him out of the game, and I like Texas out of that region, and I like Texas in the Final Four. I think
I don't
they're
know if
just
I'd
too
go that
good.
far, but I like Texas a lot. They're gonna make a good run.
I just don't see another team. I mean, Xavier is the only other one, and they'll play in the Sweet 16 game, but I just don't I don't see it. Xavier, while they are really good, they do have a tendency to like have letdown spots, and they are gonna let down against Texas, in my opinion.
All right, on to the West, Kansas and Howard.
Kansas and Howard, the Marcus Dockery come out game, 16 seed's gonna win. Book it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Kansas is gonna win
can't
this.
bet against the machine of Kansas.
Yeah, Jalen Wilson and Grady Dick are just first of all perfect name, but Jalen Wilson's a first team All American, rightly so. Grady Dick is awesome. Kevin McCullough, there is a little bit of pause though, because Kevin McCullough is dealing with some injuries, but. KJ Adams is not a big, and if they face a team like, well, they obviously won't face a team like Purdue until the championship. But if they did, it would give them problems. But I don't think it is going to give them problems in their little bracket area. Arkansas has elite rim protection. Illinois got Dane Danger, but outside of that, UConn will be the closest, and you might see my pick a little bit later. We'll see. They beat the 16 seed Howard Bison. Shout out to Marcus Dockery shooting 44% from three for them, averaging 10 points a game. I mean, you can hate on him as much as you want. You can say he doesn't belong. People do, and I think, you know what? He was good. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's not going to be good on defense, but he is a decent 3-point shooter. I like him. I think he's pretty good. Not good enough to be a Terp though, but yeah. I think he's good. On to my favorite 8-9 game, the most talented underperforming two teams in the entire country in the tournament. Not in the entire country, in the tournament. Arkansas, man, I love their talent. I'm so sad that Trayvon Brazile got hurt earlier in the season, because if they had him like Fremantle with Xavier, I probably would pick them to go, because Trayvon Brazile was a game changer. There are actually a lot of Terps. I didn't forget, but I forgot to mention it. Makai and Mikkel, the twins. They are on Arkansas.
Wow, that's wild.
You're going to tell me, well, you won't, but I was going to say, you're going to tell me Jalen, what's his name? The guy that we, I don't even remember his name. That's how bad he is. He's on Missouri State now.
Jalen,
I don't think his name is Jalen. I don't know what his name is. That doesn't matter. Anyway. Ricky Council, they don't shoot. Hey, 304th in the country at 3-point shooting. They don't shoot the ball because SEC teams are just horrible. When you got guys that are so athletic, I don't know what it is about it. They just are never good 3-point shooters. When you have like those long, lanky, like not big, but wings. That's why when you have one that does shoot, he's so valuable. Like Brandon Miller, Trayvon Brazile. They shot really good from three, and that's why that they're so valuable. But this team has two NBA freshman players, Nick Smith, who's out for a lot of the season, and Anthony Black. Those two players will be playing on NBA teams next year. Jordan Walsh is a young freshman. I mentioned Makai and Mikkel, who are both elite rim protectors. I don't know how they ended up at Arkansas. They weren't really that good at Rhode Island, but they're there. Problem is, they turn the ball over a ton, and they are really good defensively. But that offense, it's just not that great. They aren't playing great. But I think in this matchup between Arkansas and Illinois, the athleticism prevails, and I'm going to take Arkansas. Illinois has a good team. Terrence Shannon, the caffeine machine, Matthew Meyer, Coleman Hawkins, 6'10", a 6'10" point guard, Dane Danger. They have a good team. I don't know. They have, like I said, they have a really solid team. A team that's they shoot 331st in the country in three. They shoot 30% from three. That's terrible. Like, wow. Yeah, that's probably why they take a lot of threes. They take a lot of threes for a team that shoots horribly from three. Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas in this. Athleticism prevails. Give me Arkansas.
All right.
Mid-major war here with the St. Mary Gales and future point guard Ace Baldwin in the VCU
I love that.
Rams. They went on a nice big run at the end there. Beat up on St. Louis, destroyed Dayton in the championship game. Ace Baldwin leads them.
Yeah,
12
that's good
points.
enough reason to pick VCU.
12 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. Does average 3 turnovers, but his usage rate is crazy. He averages 35 points a game, so he's on the court all the time. They have Brandon Johns, if you remember, Marquette to Michigan transferred, now to the VC Rams. They have a really good team. Really good defensively, obviously with Ace Baldwin being it, and he could get Aiden Mahaney, off his game, but I really like how efficient St. Mary's is. I'm going to say it's going to sound bad. It's just a bunch of white dudes just pass the ball around, and they have great ball movement, and defensively they're in
fundamentally sound.
Randy Bennett is a great coach. He's a guy I think a lot of Maryland fans had, but just that disconnect between the West Coast and the East Coast, it was just too much for us to, have him as our new coach.
Yeah.
I'm taking St. Mary's, and this next one is UConn versus Iona. What a seeding game. Like, if I rag on the committee, but what a game. UConn and Danny or Bobby, I think it's Danny, and Iona and Rick Pitino, and it's in Albany, New York, which is equally about 2.5 hours, I think, from each of the campuses.
That's awesome.
What a matchup, and I wish Iona had a chance, but UConn's a Final Four team. Book it right now. UConn's a Final Four team. Another Big East team that I'm very high on. They have what you need. Jordan Hawkins was not playing great he really hasn't been playing great as of late compared to his numbers, but he's great. Adama Sanogo is the third most dominant big in the country behind TJD and Purdue, and Zach Edey. Donovan Clingan is a great freshman. Alex Caravan's a freshman that can shoot the ball. Tristan Newton is a experienced point guard that can shoot. Andre Jackson does not shoot, but he does everything else. He's like Russell Westbrook. He's a brick from 3, but he's amazing. He plays hard defense. He distributes the ball. And this team can rebound the hell out of the ball. They are the number 1 in offensive rebound rate, and that's just going to be too much for the Iona Gales. Another Gale here. I like Iona. I liked them last year. Rick Pitino's going to make a great St. John's head coach.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. And you'll have Walter Clayton, Dennis Jenkins, and Nelly Jr. Joseph, and even probably Quinn Slazinski. They're all going to be there, and that's going to be a great base for Pitino to start with.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's my pick out of that region, and actually, I haven't decided because I like another team on the bottom side of this bracket, but I think that's probably my pick for the Final Four.
Nice.
Next we got TCU, Arizona. TCU, a struggling team. They lost Eddie Lampkin, their big man. That's a big loss for them. That was their starting big man, and they really play it. That was their only big. I should say their only big man, because outside of him, they don't have really anybody that plays over 6'7". But everyone that played is 6'7", pretty much. Mike Miles is their star. He's shoots the ball crazy. He's awesome. He missed part of the season, and since he's been back, he's been great. But I don't like TCU. I don't like the playing game either. Rutgers got robbed, in my opinion. I don't like Rutgers.
Rutgers did get robbed. I don't like Rutgers either, but they respect for them.
Arizona State or Nevada, you could have got rid of both, and I would have said, okay, Nevada is lost 3 straight, 1 to Wyoming, 1 to UNLV, and 1 to San Jose State.
Correct.
Terrible.
Correct.
Give me Arizona State in that game. Give me TCU in that game, but give me Gonzaga, the Zags, to win in that and get to the Sweet 16. because Gonzaga is playing hot. They are the best offense. That Drew Timme spin move, that's elite.
Yes.
Elite. Julian Strother is an amazing shooter. Rasir Bolton's an amazing shooter. Malachi Smith can shoot the stripes off the rock. So can Malachi Smith. So can Nolan Hickman. Ben Gregg. All of them can shoot. What? This is a team that's,
maybe this is
when
the year
you
Gonzaga
see-
breaks through.
I've been ragging on Gonzaga as of late just because they've had these 1 seeds every year and they don't get it done. They get to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, they get bounced. This team, they got the makeup, and I think that UConn Gonzaga game that I'm going to project is going to be the best Elite 8 game, and I'm still not sure who's going to pick. I'm going to make up my mind here soon, but I don't know who I'm going to pick for that. But no disrespect to Grand Canyon, they have some really good players. I just think Gonzaga's playing way too good right now for them to. I mean, they just blew out St. Mary's, like blew them out, not even close. And then from the start, not even close. They're hot. Northwestern Boise, don't ask me. I know they're terrible. I don't know what's up with the 7-10 seeds. Terrible. Northwestern is horrible offensively. Horrible.
Yeah.
They're great defensively. They've lost 4 or 5 before their kind of mid-season streak. Boo Buie shoots the hell out of the ball, and he doesn't really shoot it all that well. My opinion. He could get hot. Chase Aldeed shoots the ball a lot, doesn't shoot it well.
I like Northwestern.
Ty Berry, terrible. Robbie Beran, terrible. Brooks Barnheiser, terrible. Matthew Nicholson, I like Matthew Nicholson. He's a great big. But they don't use him enough. He averages 6 points a game. They just don't use him enough. They're bad at shooting. They do, have a synergized offense, but they're not really hot. I don't like them. I'm picking Boise State, who plays a great system of defensive basketball, in my opinion, and I think that's gonna, they got 5 options, and I will say, if any of those options goes down, they're screwed because nobody else averages a point out of them. But that 5 is really good, and that'll at least carry them to the next round. It could carry them to the Sweet 16 because final game, UCLA missing the best defensive team in the country, but missing their best defensive player, who averages 2.5 steals for them and is pretty much the catalyst to anything defensively they have done. Jalen Clark. That's a big loss, and that might be a bigger loss than a lot of people are not making it out to be. Also, Adam Bona, he hasn't played. He's last time he played was before the Pac-12 tournament, I think. He's lost the last 2 games. That's a huge loss as well. If they don't have Adam Bona and Jalen Clark, 15-2 might be the upset there.
Yeah.
Davis Singleton's a great shooter. Jaime Jaquez and Tyler Campbell are like the mid-range gods. They just take weird mid-range and make them. Amari Bailey is playing better as of late, and that could be another catalyst to what could help UCLA at least over UNC Asheville. But man, UNC Asheville might be my crush of the entire tournament. Drew Pember, 6'10" forward that plays like a point guard, turns the ball over a ton. Whatever. He blocks the ball. He assists, rebounds, points. He shoots the ball. He's great from the free throw line. I love Drew Pember. I love him. But not only that, Tyjon Jones, 45% from 3 on 215 three-point shots. He is the most efficient three-point shooter in the country, and I don't think there's another one. Maybe Andrew Funk, but I didn't look at his numbers. 45% on 215 shots. That's nearly 100 threes in the season. That is crazy. That's what? At least 3 threes a game made. Fletcher B is another one that shoots 42%. This team, I mean, that top 3 is. It's not. There's an argument. It might be the best top 3 in the country. That's crazy. Actually, that's a lie. I won't say that because that's overblown. A B only averages 8 points a game. Tyjon Jones and Drew Pember, though. That's 2 crazy good players. I have UCLA getting out of this. getting out of Boise, and I think I have them losing to Gonzaga. I think I'm going to have UConn in the Final Four. And my Final Four, I'll have Alabama, Texas in the championship. Which says, that sounds chalky as hell. God, that sounds so chalk.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Give me Texas. Alabama is going to be prone to bad shooting days. They do it a lot. Give me Texas to win the championship.
Texas, good call. Horns up.
No, buddy. No, horns down always.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, that'll roll things.